So what do you guys think? Yeah, do drop us your comments in the box below.
Yeah, so Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Life Realtors. This is our talk show where we discuss real estate matters and lifestyle choices. Bro, as a realtor in Singapore, what is the number one question you face from your clients?
I think it's very straightforward. Okay, we probably both face the same questions all the time. So on the count of 1, 2, 3, let's just say it together. Okay?
Sure.
1, 2, 3. How is the property market?
That's right. I think a lot of people are asking these questions because they're sitting on a fence on whether they should buy, sell, or rent today, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of juicy movement in the market recently, okay?
Yeah.
So we've seen Pasir Ris going at 2,000 PSF, okay? HDB is going at close to $1.3 million, okay? And not to mention, okay, we've seen a lot of young and new wealthy people snapping up good class bungalows and mansions.
That's right, that's right. These kind of young punks buying property left, right, center, like buying fish from the market.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention that we are still in the midst of a pandemic right now.
Yeah, so let's just cut the BS and go straight into discussing how is the market today. Let's go. First of all, we got to understand that Singapore's property market is like no other. Do you agree with me, bro, that the market is tightly controlled by the government?
Oh, do you care to elaborate?
Do you remember back in the old days when our parents' generation, they bought a property today, they can sell the property tomorrow?
Correct. Also, that's the reason why I think I hear a lot of old uncles and aunties having 5 or 6 properties, all from last time.
Yeah, it's called flipping, right? You were able to buy multiple properties without being taxed by the government. There were no restrictions back then.
Yeah,
But
correct.
today there are obviously restrictions.
When we talked about the HDB survey previously, okay,
Yeah.
this also shows that the government is keeping a very close eye on the HDB market, even in terms of controlling prices.
Yeah, that's right.
So having said that, if Singapore being a free economy, is it really free? We don't know.
Yeah, but is it good or bad for us? That's the thing, right? So let's dive down into the measures that were put in place by the government and let's see how it controls the market. So when we talk about controlling the market, right, it's very good to illustrate in the form of a seesaw. Okay? Now, what stands in the middle is what we call the total debt servicing ratio, TDSR. So TDSR is there in place to make sure people don't over borrow or over leverage.
Okay, so the current TDSR rate is at 60%. Correct?
That's right.
And what it means is if I'm earning $10,000 a month, I can only set aside $6,000 a month to service my mortgage loan.
And that does not just apply to property, it applies to everything in terms of your loans as well.
Okay.
That's right. So it was implemented in 2013. Okay, so ever since then we are seeing a huge drop in the property market because less leverage, less borrowing, less speculation.
So basically,
Right.
the ability to borrow, okay, from the banks becomes lesser.
That's right.
Makes it more restrictive.
That's right. So we're talking about balancing, right? So we need to look at both sides of the spectrum. So on the left side, we have what we call the seller stamp duty.
Right.
Okay, so if you buy a property today, if the first year you want to sell, you pay 12% to the government. Second will be 8%, and the third year will be 4%.
So,
Okay.
bro, what you're saying is I can still buy a property today and sell it tomorrow.
You can, but you pay 12%.
Technically, you can, but just that you've got to pay a huge tax for it.
Yeah, and 12% is a huge amount of tax.
It's huge.
Right? So what seller stamp duty actually does, okay, the intention from the government is to curb the existing supply, bringing down the overall supply. Can you imagine, bro, there is no seller stamp duty today? What would you do?
I'll be a lot of my uncle and auntie clients around. Yeah.
It's practically impossible to flip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
that's right. So, but the government in Singapore is quite kiasu, right? So not only they want to balance the supply side, they also want to balance the demand.
Correct.
Okay, so for this we have everybody's favorite cooling measure called the additional buyer stamp duty.
Yes.
Okay.
ABSD.
ABSD, everybody's talking about it. So if you're a Singaporean, first property you don't have, but second is 12% and third is 15%, and different rate applies if you are a foreigner. Okay, so what this actually does was it controls and dampens the existing demand. Okay, so what we are seeing as a whole phenomenon from the first cooling measure all the way up to today is the whole market actually softens.
Correct. I think, bro, just to add on a point, right? I think nowadays when we talk about cooling measures, right, the very first term that people come up with is ABSD.
That's right.
Yeah. But you know, you have to look at cooling measures as an overall picture, which means that ABSD, SSD, and TDS are all part of basically the government's cooling measures.
That's right, that's right. And to answer the question, is it good or bad for us? Right? I think it's very apparent today. We are in a global pandemic and we are seeing property prices still going up. People snap properties left, right, and center. Right? This is exactly why this is good for us, in my opinion.
Okay, so what you're saying is, okay, because of the cooling measures that has been implemented, okay, by the government to control the property prices, this has in fact helped to stabilize the property price and the property growth in Singapore.
That's right.
So bro, I think maybe just to ask you and ask the audience a question as well, okay? So, you know, from the start of COVID-19 all the way until today, okay? Have you actually seen the property prices go up or down?
Let us know in the comments if you think the prices have gone up or went down. So now let's take a look at the past 10-year trends of the Singapore property market. Okay, if we take a look at HDBs, we're talking about the sale, and we just look at the average price per square feet, the rest is quite irrelevant. Okay, we look at yearly from 2009 to 2021, because 2021 hasn't ended yet, right? We'll just filter everything, we sort by district, all districts and all property types. Okay,
so all HDBs in general?
All HDBs in general for the past 10 years, how did it do? Okay, we can see from the graph here, from 2009 all the way up to 2021, it's 46.05% growth. That is yearly at 3.2%. Not bad.
That's not bad,
Yeah, not bad. So let's take a look at private properties. Okay, let's just change it to private, average dollar per square feet. And same thing, 2009 to 2021, okay, by district, all districts. Okay, now this is the graph of private properties. If we plot it straight from the 2009 to 2021, it's a 61.69% growth. So it's 4.08% a year.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is if I had bought a private property 10 years ago for say $1 million, based on 4% growth, okay, my property would be up about 1.48.
Yeah, that's right.
Thereabouts.
That's right. Yeah, which is quite decent, right?
Yeah, which is quite decent. Yeah, definitely.
Correct.
But I think obviously just a disclaimer as well. I think what we're referring to is basically properties in general.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So some will be more, some will be less.
That's right.
Yeah.
My question to you is timing the market more important or time in the market that is more important? Let us know in the comments below. So, in conclusion, how's the market?
Two answers lah, bro. Either good or no good. Huh? No lah. Okay, we definitely won't answer like that. Okay. So the irony of Singapore being a free market is that it's not really free after all, because the government still controls. Okay. But the further irony is, because the government controls, that has resulted in very stable prices, okay, for a very long time.
Yeah, that's right. So, are you still sitting on the fence? Let me ask you this question. Is timing the market more important or time in the market that is more important? I think we can both agree that time in the market is definitely more important.
Right.
Right?
What do you guys think? Drop us your comments below.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.